Hello everybody, welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm Scott, joined by Ash.
Hello!
Ash, my friend, there are details as to how Xbox/Microsoft might be doing. I have some sort of large, all attention-grabbing iron in the fire, and that goes by the name of Perfect Dark. Now, before I get into what this means, what's the name Perfect Dark mean to you?
I gotta say, not a lot. You said this to me and I was like, great, they're making a new Pitch Black film.
I wish they were making a new Pitch Black film.
Oh, no, yeah, I haven't played Perfect Dark. I can't say it's been big on my radar. I think looking it up, you said it was a Nintendo 64
Yes.
game? Yeah?
So let me regale you. This is a big old deal because it's made by Rare. Perfect Dark was one of the big sort of games on the N64, came after GoldenEye. All the hardcore fans, the people that say that Banjo-Kazooie is a better platformer than Mario 64, always point to Perfect Dark. Did I say Perfect Dark's a better platformer? No, Banjo-Kazooie is a better platformer than Mario 64.
Pitch Black is a better platformer.
Big Vinny D. They will also say that Perfect Dark should be the game lauded as what GoldenEye is held up as, because it was what Rare did after GoldenEye. It was one of the last shooters on the N64, and it helped sort of make the first-person shooter genre work on consoles. It's a big old deal. And after that, Rare did Perfect Dark Zero on Xbox 360. It was a launch game, or it was available right next to the launch of the 360. And like I said, it was a big old deal, but Perfect Dark Zero didn't go down anywhere near as well as what you could almost call a cult classic in the original one. But the story is that Microsoft are bringing back Perfect Dark, and they have a new team that's been doing the rounds on social media that they've kind of coined as the quadruple A studio, just four A's in a row.
I've heard this. I may not have heard Perfect Dark, but I've heard about quadruple A studio.
Right, so they're called The Initiative, and their initial job posting was that they're a quadruple A studio, which I think it was Jason Schreier was like, that's good, because it just encompasses how AAA game development is just one big scream, just the whole way through. But yeah, apparently the game that they're working on is a Perfect Dark remake/reboot, and this was confirmed by Jeff Grubb, who works for VentureBeat. In a live chat, he sort of chimed in when Kind of Funny were doing their Xbox show, got in the live chat, they were talking about, the Kind of Funny people were talking about Phil Spencer going to The Initiative, talking about a potential project, and then Jeff Grubb just swooped in the live chat and just said, yeah, it's Perfect Dark. They're doing a massive big budget Perfect Dark overhaul, and it's going to be third person, which is interesting because Perfect Dark is a big old deal because it helped pioneer first person stuff. But the reason that I think it's interesting to have a back and forth with someone who isn't that familiar with the franchise is this the thing that's going to, do you even care? It's such an old 15-year-old thing.
You know what, I'm a big fan of remasters, remakes, redos, because it gives you a chance to have a look at something that you haven't seen before. So Perfect Dark coming out again and being this whole new franchise that I'll be able to enjoy for something new, and that has this legacy to it. I think that's a great idea and that's a lovely thing, but I can't say that the pull is there for me to go and check it out like straight away. It's something that I'll be like, oh yeah, maybe I'll pick that up when it comes out. I'd want to see a bit more in it and be a bit more excited by it. Maybe there's fans out there that are absolutely rabid for this and really excited for it. And I feel like I'm not like great at representing that side of it. I think it's neat. I think it's nice that they're paying homage to legacy, because that's what Xbox do. They kind of have their whole like, They love the backwards compatibility and going, okay, this is something for everyone, look at all our games we've got. And I feel like going, okay, this was something that was really important to, building games and genres and all that sort of thing, and doing it again is very much, it feels like a Microsoft nice thing for them. You know what I mean? It feels within their little, what's the word? Outhouse.
The outhouse of family-friendly things. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they're trying to build like a more recognizable portfolio. Like, it seems like they've kind of just slept through a lot of this generation, and then now towards the Series X coming out, it's like, here's the new Fable, but apparently that's quite a ways off, even though there has been a lot of leaked info the last few years. But it seems like going forward, it's like, okay, we're bringing Jason Statham back for Halo. We're gonna do another big old Fable. We're gonna do Perfect Dark, and it's those franchises that like they should have been sort of nurturing over time. But I think now, because Sony have doubled down on their exclusives and Nintendo have always done that stuff, Xbox and Microsoft are like, actually, crap, that's the way it's going to go, and we need to make sure we have a family of titles. But I guess because Perfect Dark is available on the Rare collection on Xbox at the minute, and I think if you haven't gone back to it just out of sheer curiosity, like for me, I don't think the name is a big enough pull. Like I've played a bit of Perfect Dark Zero. I've barely played the original Perfect Dark, and it's strange hanging that much on it, but it's kind of a household name. Like I guess out of sheer curiosity, you'd give it a shot.
Yeah, that's all I have is noises on it. By the way, every time you say like Perfect Dark Zero, I'm now thinking of Zero Dark 30. There's too many. They're too similar to like film names.
Yeah, nothing other than Nothing other than the thing that they want you to think of.
Yeah, but no, I think having that, obviously, like having it as this the first person granddaddy and being there as this great piece of you know what I mean, like when it's incentivized all this change and stuff in the industry, that's great, and I think them going back to it is great, and I think it's an interesting step for them. But they're contending with some very big, very recent franchises, especially when it comes to like PlayStation and Sony, that are absolutely like sweeping the game sales. So going, okay, we've got
with a windblower.
We've got this older one that everybody liked back in the day. Maybe it will be good again, but it's been so long since it's been around. I think that I don't know. It worries me. It worries me for them.
It's interesting because like they have Halo to sort of tick the first-person shooter box, and for the most part, Sony only have Killzone for that, and Killzone never got anywhere near like the sort of general overall recommendation-fueled conversations that Halo had. Whereas I think in regards to Perfect Dark, you know, it was this first-person shooter. It was like at the launch of the Xbox, of the 360. It was like that's the thing that you picked up to just sort of look at the new graphics and everything like that. But the fact that they're going down third-person. That's a weird comment on Gears. Gears is already that. Like Gears of War is the third-person shooter, like first party IP. And so like to go down that route and try and make a big deal out of this old thing, it's like I don't know how do you even do that in a way that sort of like turns heads.
It's interesting, isn't it? Going, oh, here's this thing that was famed for its first-person shooter influence. We're gonna do it third-person. Boom! Like okay,
it's a turn-based strategy now. Like
lovely, great. I'm glad you've got the IP and are doing new things with it and interesting things with it. Maybe this will herald, you know, the great third-person shooter. But as you say, I think we've already had a fair few of those. I think the most interesting part of this is the quadruple A moments, like surrounding it, though. Honestly, because. What's a quadruple A? Where have we gone? Why is triple not a good enough?
I don't know. I mean,
they've got extra A. What's it?
They've deleted that now because they put it out and everyone like obviously like you know like ridiculed them for it and just went what does that? Yeah, what does that even mean? Like what everything's going to be extra shiny? But they've since deleted that job listing. But that's the whole thing is that they're bringing together this team that are sort of like they're almost like a supergroup. Like I forget which website ran with like looked up how many different companies the team members themselves had worked for in the past. But a lot of the staff here have worked on. It was including Apex Legends, Gears of War, Doom, Uncharted, and there was a few other games too. So like it's very much Microsoft going like it's like the Avengers of game devs. Let's put everybody together. And even though it's not announced, Sony has the same thing. There's a secret team now that are on the Sony side that's working on apparently Uncharted 5.
I love this. Honestly, I love this whole secretive. We've got teams. We're gonna make.
We've got some teams.
You don't know if you're gonna get like Winter Soldier or Age of Ultron is the thing though when it comes to the Avengers. Like,
well, that's
disparity.
That's the thing as well, is that it takes so long for the projects to come together as well. Like on the Sony side, their super team is made of ex-Naughty Dog and ex-Rockstar people, which is a big old deal, but they haven't confirmed what the project is. Microsoft have stepped forward and said, look, this is our secret super team made of all these ex-people, but their big thing is Perfect Dark. It's not a new IP, it's not, you know, it's just kind of like, and it's like you said, it's also third person, it's not the thing that made it a big deal in the first place. But regardless, we're so close to the Xbox Series X coming out, and this kind of should be something that, you know, you could have, it would have been better to know about it months ago or years ago.
Yeah, they could have drummed up some hype for it and like, you know, gone in. They could have had a lot of, again, legacy stuff and gone, look at all this thing, look how it's influenced, look what it's done for this industry. This is how we're going to celebrate it. This is what we're doing moving forward. This is our incredible crack team of devs that are going to make it this amazing new thing. Get ready, join the ride, hop on the train for Xbox, choo-choo. Like, they could have done that for a long time, considering we are so close. That's a very good point to bring up, that we are so close and they haven't actually, you know, this is coming out now.
It's ludicrous. Like, I mean, I like, you know, massive 360 fan and, you know, support Phil Spencer, love what he brings to the industry and everything. But we're so close to launch and it increasingly feels like it's falling apart. And that's speaking as someone who's a fan who's probably going to buy it anyway. I mean, I will buy it anyway. I have to know what it's like. But, like, it's always that thing of, like, what the hell are you guys doing? And why are you putting these things into motion now when they were clearly very important for, like, you know, the current period? Yeah. But whatever. Let us know what you think down in the comments below of the general state of Xbox and the fact that Perfect Dark seems to be the thing that's going to be their next big budget first party title. Is that going to convince you to buy a Series X? For now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com.
And I have been Ash, also from WhatCulture.com.
I will catch you next time. Bye.